Welcome friends to my kitchen. Bem-vindos à minha cozinha. We just got back from Idaho from seeing our grandkids, and I was going through my pantry and I need to clean up stuff that I bought for Christmas, like for fruit cake. I have extra fruit that I'm gonna use and nuts and make something with it. I'm gonna do some cookies with oats. This is all gonna be gluten free. I'm not gonna use this one. I got plenty there. Gotta figure out another recipe to make with that one, because I had some from last year in my freezer and I don't want to keep it in my freezer. But anyway, so I'm gonna use all the fruits that I bought and nuts that I don't use, and I'm gonna make a gluten-free. My neighbor kind of watched over our house for the weekend when we were gone, so I'm gonna make some and take some to her. So this is gluten-free, but you can make it regular if you want to. Bem-vindos à minha cozinha. Eu estou fazendo limpeza na minha pantry porque tem restos de coisas que comprei para fazer para o Natal e quero limpar. Só um bocadinho aqui, um bocadinho ali, depois enche a pantry toda. So o que eu vou fazer? Vou fazer cookies com gluten free. Eu vou usar oats, parece que aveia, and it's o nome em português. But anyway, so it's oats, gluten free. E eu vou usar o resto que tem. So anyway, so I'm going to show you a little bit of everything that I have, and then you can adjust however you want. I'm going to use coconut oil. I have 2 eggs. This was those red cherries that you buy for your fruit cake. I have red and green. I put them in my food processor to kind of blend them. I have some sugar ginger and some pineapple, kind of the same thing. Some dates, probably about a half a cup of each. Some cranberries, brown sugar. In here I have walnuts and pecans, and then some coconut, vanilla, some cinnamon, and then I have about, I think, 6 cups of gluten-free oats. So I'm gonna do all this and see. I made this up as I go along. I'll leave a recipe on the description if you want to do. Like I said, you can adjust this to regular, to make a regular if you don't want. I mean, the only thing used in here is the oats. They're gluten-free. So if you substitute for regular oats, you'll be fine. We're exhausted from our trip. It's nice to go, but boy, when you come home, your body don't want to do anything. So it took us 11 hours each way. So I have half a cup of coconut oil. If you don't like coconut oil, you can substitute for butter or oil, any kind of oil. So I'm gonna do, because I know she's gluten-free and I can share this with my son, so I figure this would be a good way to get rid of all this stuff. I'm gonna put my coconut, I'm gonna put my sugar, and we're gonna blend all this. That's about a half a cup of brown sugar. You don't want much because all these fruits have plenty of sugar. Okay, that's that. I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons of vanilla. I love vanilla, and vanilla is good in everything. And then I'm gonna put some cinnamon, probably about a teaspoon and a half, because this is the only flavor that it's gonna give it in here. Okay, and everything is combined. And now it's pretty much add everything in here and mix. Add some, and these are things I don't use throughout the year. So it's not something I can use down the road. You only use this at Christmas and that's it. So, and you try to make sure you always have enough of stuff, and this is what happens. And last year I saved it in my fridge, in a freezer, and this year I go, no, I'm not doing that again. Because every time I went through the fridge and saw that stuff there, it was taking me space in my freezer. So I'm gonna mix all this, make sure all this stuff is combined, because this has a lot of sugar. So you want all this combined. And this is the glue, pretty much, for grab all these ingredients together. And that's how it is. So I'm gonna add, it's a half a cup of cranberries. Thought they were raisins, but they're cranberries. Probably a cup of coconut. And I'm gonna mix this. And this is grabbing as I mix. So the pecans and the walnuts that I always have in my freezer, but I wanted some kind of crunch, some kind of nut. Okay, and now it goes the oats. And we just want to mix all this. Until they're all incorporated. You want to make sure you have a mixture that is kind of wet, because you want those, and if you find that it's not wet enough, just add a couple more eggs or one more egg, which is, I think, what I'm gonna do. I knew I was gonna make more than what I wanted, but that's how it is. You add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm gonna add 2 more eggs. It's too dry. See, it's not grabbing. It needs to grab each other. And this is what happens when you make things out of your head. But you adjust it. So you will see whatever the amount you do. And this will make not only a nice cookie, but it'll make a nice bar for in the morning, because you got all the good flavors in here. Okay, I'm gonna add this, and I'm gonna mix. And I'm gonna mix with my hands. My hands are clean, because that's how I'm gonna know if this is gonna bind. You want all this to bind together. So when we put it in a cookie sheet, it will shape like a cookie. I'm gonna put a little bit more cinnamon. Okay. We all come home. Comes the holidays, we all try to find, if you have stuff like this, we all try to find ways to use it. Okay, so now I'm gonna shape my little cookies and I'm using a cookie sheet, ice cream scooper, and I'm pressing it down so they kind of stick together. Because again, they don't have very much to stick together. Ok, tive misturando tudo aqui na estalguidade e tive que pôr mais 2 ovos, porque esta mistura tem que ficar uma mistura kind of, não é seca, tem que ser mais molhada para isto pegar uns azeite. Porque só tem os ovos e o coconut oil, o óleo de coconut para agarrar isto e a fruta. So, tem que ser uma coisa molhada. E agora estou usando um ice cream scooper para fazer o shape, para fazer a forma das cookies. Okay? O meu fogão está a aquecer 350 e a gente vai cozer isso, maybe aí uma coisa de 20 minutos, não leva muito tempo. My oven is preheated at 350, and we're gonna bake this maybe about 20 minutes, and then we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna shape all of them, and then I'll show you when they're done. Okay friends, I just took my last batch of cookies, and what I'm doing, I'm going with a cup to kind of shape them up when they're super hot still. And it makes better shape of a cookie. So I use a glass, and you just put it in there, and it brings the cookie together instead of having all those pieces all around. And it makes a better presentation of a cookie. And then I let them sit here until they're completely cool. Because if you go take them out when they're still hot, they're gonna fall apart. Do this when they're hot, and then just let them sit there in a cookie sheet. Just go around. You can do this with any cookie, even a chocolate chip cookie. Take them out of the oven and put them in a cup and swirl around. It makes the rounds, the edges of the cookie more presentable and more round. But these are real close to each other. And these, because the sugar is pretty much what's holding in the egg, so you want to kind of shape them a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna let these cool. I already took that batch, and then I'll show you at the end. Here it is, my cookie with leftovers of my things that I bought for my fruit cakes, the fruit, the nuts. These are so good. They're not very sweet, and you taste the fruit, you taste the nuts. It could be a nice breakfast, you know, for breakfast. Just, that's what I'm having. I'm having a cookie with my cup of coffee. That's my breakfast. Or it could be just for a sweet thing in the afternoon or whenever you want. So anyway, so I got rid of all the little pieces of fruit that I had left and some nuts. I'm gonna take some to my neighbor that watched our house when we went to Idaho. And I'm gonna share some with my son. And then I had another friend that is gluten-free. I'm gonna try to see if she wants some. Anyway, so you give it a try at this. I will leave the recipe in the description so you can follow and make this. And this makes a delicious snack for kids, for school. And aqui está as minhas cookies que fiz esta manhã com restos de fruta, que foi do meu fruit cake que eu usei, e com os restos dos nozes e outras coisas que eu comprei para o meu fruit cake. Eu fiz estas cookies gluten free. Levei 20 minutos no meu fogão a 350. Vocês que façam, que isto é uma coisa boa para o pequeno almoço ou para qualquer coisa, até para as crianças, para a escola. Isto é uma coisa boa. Eu deixo a receita em português e em inglês na descrição, vocês que façam estas cookies. Anyway, it took me 20 minutes in the oven. It might change for you, depend your oven. And again, you can substitute from gluten-free oats for regular oats. And they do whatever other fruits. My fruits that I had some kind of gooey, sugary, so we're more in a syrup kind of thing. If you use dry fruit, it might be different. So you might have to add more eggs or more coconut oil. I love the coconut oil. It gives that nice flavor. It's healthy. The coconut flakes. This is one delicious cookie that I am gonna write down the recipe and I will do it again. So anyway, until next time, have a good day. Let's get cooking.